Farm Bureau Insurance. That is me. That is my livelihood. I have brought the county manager of not only Lawrence County Farm Bureau, Fairfield County Farm Bureau, Abbeville Farm Bureau. I brought my boss man with me today, Brent Brown. He's going to come up, Gene. We're going to give out our touchdown club players of the week. Brent, he said he's going to be brief. He don't talk like I do, but he can talk in the meetings, I can tell you that. Brent Brown.
Yeah, very, very rare do I take a microphone from Buddy. No, hey, just, thankful that Farm Bureau can be a part of the Touchdown Club. I grew up in a community where we didn't have anything like this, and obviously when I came to Lawrence County Farm Bureau and was able to attend, it's just truly special. So my hat goes off to the folks that take their time to put this event on and recognize the players for their accomplishments on a Friday night. But any of us that have been involved in sports knows that those accomplishments were really won Monday through Thursday. They just showed their talent on Friday night. So congratulations. I'd also like to thank the coaches. There's not a time in my life that I don't face a tough decision that one of my coaches, something that they told me at some point in time is always in my mind. You don't realize that until you get older. So certainly thank the coaches for the time that you take. Last thing I'll say, I want to recognize Buddy. Buddy, I don't envy him come fall between Touchdown Club and his commitments with the Red Devils. He's one of the busiest guys I know, and despite all of that, he continues year in and year out to lead not our county, not our district, but our state for South Carolina Farm Bureau when it comes to helping families protect what's most important, whether that be their auto, their home, their life. He just does a tremendous job of that. We have a saying that helping you is what we do best, and Buddy truly takes that to heart, so thank you, Buddy. Again, just thank you for letting us be here. Proud and honored to be a part of it. Thank you.
This time we are going to do our players of the week. Of course, it's been 2 weeks since we last met. We got a couple of Fridays to do that. A couple of Fridays ago, September 6th, it was Javen Cook from Clinton High School. Javen could come forward. This gentleman is from Clinton High School, and it was Clinton over Newberry that particular Friday night. This guy is a junior running back. Javen get right in between them. This gentleman rushed for 235 yards on 22 carries. He had long runs of 39 and 49 yards. The 49 yards would result in a touchdown. If you do the math, that's 10.7 yards per carry. That particular game, if you're familiar with Clinton Newberry Natural Gas Authority, Clinton and Newberry, obviously, they picked that game now. They have a player of the game, they have a big belt to the team. And this gentleman also won the Clinton Newberry Natural Gas Authority MVP for Clinton High School that game. So our September 6th player of the week, Clinton High School, is Javen Cook. Also at that table, at that particular game, we call that Clinton Newberry Natural Gas Authority. They also gave an academic award. Brett, you want to stand up? He was at Clinton High School's academic award winner for that night. Let's give Brett a round of applause as well. And this past Friday night, I guess this was the players of the week, was our running backs. Nemo Fernandez. Nemo, come forward, please. He also has a nickname. We talked about Javen being Zoom. This gentleman has Nemo. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nemo Fernandez. Last Friday night, when Lawrence went down to D.C. Florida and played at Memorial Stadium in Columbia. This junior running back, both of these guys are juniors. This gentleman rushed for a career high of 217 yards, 26 carries and a touchdown. He also had a great long run of 29 yards for a touchdown. Again, 8.3 yards per carry. Coach Porter quoted, Nehemiah has an incredible work ethic on and off the field. Nemo has a team-first attitude. And when needed, they played quarterback. We had the injuries there, so he's filled in at quarterback as well. He has no hesitation to play that position. It's all about the team. Nemo Fernandez, September 13th, player of the week. Stay right here. James said, I failed to mention the quote from Coach Fountain about this gentleman as well. This is Javen. We just heard about Nemo. The same thing. Tremendous work ethic. Runs become a leader on and off the field. The last 2 games, he's run the ball extremely well, and he did so again last week. Looking forward to seeing the progress next season. So I failed to mention that about Javen. Let's give both these guys a big round of applause. Javen, hold up your ball. Nemo, hold up your ball. Again, these balls are given, just hold it up. Don't spike it, but hold it up. They're given to us by Farm Bureau Insurance. Can't thank Brett and Buddy enough. Let's give Farm Bureau Insurance a round of applause. I'm out to Buddy today. Our game day sponsors got you covered today. You got a team, you can learn how to drive from Bill C. Wright, our game day sponsor. Then you go buy an automobile from Cooper Motor and Chip at Cooper Motor, and then get insurance all the way from Farm Bureau. We got you covered today.
I just like to add that Chip and Mick Cooper and Bill C. Wright had their insurance with Farm Bureau Insurance. I had that as a team. I promise, I said, put me with Chip and Bill, because this is a family right here. That is true. Speaking of family, our college, who we support every Saturday, guess what? They are 2-1, and Gardner Webb's coming, and they just don't know what's waiting on them. Coach Engelhardt, dreams will bring you to mind. They beat Erskine. They beat Virginia Lynchburg 52-0, and Gardner Webb comes to Bailey Stadium this Saturday. Tell us all about it, Coach.
All right, thanks, buddy. Yeah, we've had 2 pretty good weeks. I thought our kids really worked hard and really kept their composure and continued to work throughout this. You know, after our first game, kind of had a rough one and came back and persevered and had a lot of resilience in our preparation. And I think that's where it comes from. You know, your preparation leads to good things on Saturday, and we're starting to mature and understand that. And so we got to keep going. We've had a good week of practice. This week, Gardner Webb will be a tough matchup for us. They're really good. They're 0-3, but they played up. They lost to JMU by 6, and then they lost to Charlotte by 1. So they've done a good job. They've got a really stingy defense and an athletic offense. So we've got our work cut out for us. That game is at 7 p.m. on Saturday at Bailey Memorial Stadium. And I've told you before, it's hard for me to bring players. We have morning practices, so all of our players kind of go to class start at 12 o'clock and don't really have any available players to come. So I brought next best thing. I brought both of my offensive line coaches with me today. Matt Raw he's got a ton of experience from all over the place. He was at Missouri and at Wyoming and been at UTEP and came from Missouri Southern. And he and his wife and 3 kids moved here in June. Well, he was here a little bit before that, and you know, our football coaches they moved their families later. And then Devin Weiss, also offensive line coach, also does some stuff with our tight ends. Played at the Citadel, and then GA'd at NC State, and he's coming from us most recently from West Alabama. So really lucky to have these 2 guys. They did a great job.
So now it's time for our high school coach to speak. Coach Fountains will make his way up. For you here that are here as the family of the players of the week, hope you understand, acknowledge, you know, I'm an excitable guy, the Touchdown Club. We really get excited about this. And it's all about our kids. That's who it's really all about. But our booster clubs step up, each one, Raiders, Crusaders, and Red Devils, to make sure that when Clay Lawson, just use him as one example, that his parents, his grandparents can come. And I want y'all to give a big hand to all 3 booster clubs for what they do here at the Lawrence County Fair. Red Devils defeated Newberry and Chapman. They travel to Daniel, to Clemson Central tomorrow night to take on the Lions and Coach Corey Fountain.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, everybody who makes this happen every other week. It's awesome. Thank you for Cooper. Coach C. Wright, known him a long time. And I'm going to tell you what, if you want to get in on NIL deal, man, we're missing 4 linemen going to be graduating this year. We can lease a Bighorn truck, you know, to get them in. You can teach them how to drive. We'll get them back to you in one piece. That'd be awesome, man. Bring in some big men. Drive those big trucks. Clayton would be mad because he didn't get a chance to drive. Anyways, yeah, we played Newberry. A lot of people knew that game was going to be a challenge for us. We knew that game was going to be a challenge for us. And I felt like our guys rose to the challenge. They had really good skill guys. Our defense came to play. For the past 2 or 3 weeks, except for this past week, we have given up a touchdown on the first drive. But, we did in the Newberry game, but we slowed everything down for them. Defenses made adjustments, and we were able to slow them down for the rest of the game and outscore them, large part by Zoom. Javen Cook rushing for over 200 yards on our offensive line and running backs blocking for him. Last game, Chapman, we actually started out fast, which I was proud of, because every other game it seemed like we were starting out slow, and I'm like, why is it taking until the second half for us to get going? I mean, I'm reading articles about what we should be eating before the games, how much, when we should work out on our pregame workout. Like, I'm trying to figure this thing out. And I don't know, I probably didn't need to do all that, but I did. So we changed some stuff up. We started out a little faster. I just think they just started out a little faster. We played on a Thursday, one less day of practice. Guys are ready to go. We've kind of got a rivalry with Chapman over the last couple of years just because of how close the games have been, and they've gone back and forth. This week, we're headed to Daniel. In 2021, we headed to Daniel too in the playoffs. And, everybody's building the game up. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. You watch film, and I'm watching film. I'm like, man, Daniel's solid, guys. Oh, we'll be fine. I'm like, Daniel's really solid. And even Summers, is it Todd Summers, the news guy, reminded me of it yesterday when he came to talk to us. We thought that was going to be a good game, but they just steamrolled you. What do you expect? You expect the same thing this year? You expect to be able to hang with them? Like, that just hits you in the mouth. I wish I could have been able to play and be like, no, Todd, we try to win every game. We're not expecting to lose. So, anyways, we're going to go in there with our best game plan. Our guys have been preparing all week because you win games Monday through Thursday. You don't win games on Friday. And we're going to have our guys the best they can be prepared to play the game against Daniel and drive up to Central this week. Today, I want to introduce you to some of those guys we have playing in that game this week and has been playing for us. First up is Chris Boyd. Stand up, Chris. He's a junior, weak safety. He's a throwback kid, likes to strike you from the safety position. He's just not trying to get pass breakups and interceptions. He's going to strike you. And it's fun to watch him play and hit people. He's usually one of our leading tacklers, one of our best defense players each and every week. A good kid, not just a good football player, a good kid also in school building. Chris Boyd. Next up, Javen Cook, junior, running back. Plays some DB, but not kind of playing DB yet. It's fun to watch him run. I remember Javen when he was a little kid. I told y'all that last week. He was running the ball back and forth in, and we were calling him Zoom. And even the Chapman guy, if you watch, somebody posted some kind of clip from the Chapman announcer that was on TV. And he was like, look at that guy go. Look at him go, look at him go. And it's fun to watch Javen run the ball. He gets in behind. Yeah, he said some other stuff. It was funny. But he gets behind Clayton and Hunter Lawson and Cal Pitts, Ryan Gordon and Trey Aiken, and no one sees him, and he shoots out of the cannon and he goes down the field. It's fun to watch. I look forward to seeing him play some more football as well, Javen Cook. Next up, Clayton Lawson. Clayton Lawson, what I love about Clayton Lawson is he ain't scared of a little dust up. He ain't scared of a little dust up in practice. He ain't scared of a little dust up in the locker room. But Hunter can take care of him sometimes. I have seen that way the time too. But he'll get after it. He'll get after it on the football field. He plays defensive line for us. He plays offensive line for us. He does double duty. And I'm excited about what we're going to do with him this week as far as on the offensive line and defensive line, take care of business versus Daniel. Next up, we got Brett Young. He's the leader of the defense, the quarterback on the defensive side of the ball, the coach on the defensive side of the ball. He gets everybody lined up, probably watches more film than anyone, him and his dad, and he'll be ready for this game plan too. Him and Coach Campbell work hand in hand as far as Coach Campbell knows that he can trust him to carry out the game plan on the field. When Coach Campbell can't yell loud enough because they're at the other end of the field, Brett Young gets him in the right spot. Great young man, as you know, he's also a great academic performer in the classroom and won that award versus Newberry. Brett Young. Those are our guys. They're great football players, but even better young men. If you're going to ride up to Daniel, it'd be great if we could have as much support as possible up there in line. Thank you.
Zoom, Javen Cook. Can you see the Zoom? I don't expect you to know who this lady is, but they is a Hall of Fame, one of the greatest voices of all time. I named Miss Aretha Franklin. I don't know if you know who that is, but everybody else in this room knows. She had a hit song, one of her best in the 80s called Who's Zooming Who. We done loaded that up at Wilder Stadium. It's ready to be played. When Zoom goes, Aretha's will play on Friday nights in Clinton. You ready, young man? All right. Speaking of dialing up a game day atmosphere, Jesse Tarver has got it ready for you guys. There's nothing like going down in those woods back to Todd Kirk Field on a Friday night. I did it. I've been there. I've announced it. Okay? And up next is Coach Jolly Doolittle. All you got to do is win the game, Coach. That's all you got to do.
Yes, sir. As always, thank you to everybody that makes this possible. An awesome opportunity, privilege for our kids and us to take part in it. So thank you for that. Since we were here last time, we played fairly well versus Overlook. We were able to take care of business there. Really big night from as far as numbers go, from Garrett Murphy, Ethan Collins, and Caleb Hardy. And two big catches from Spires and Cameron. He's with us today. He caught a 4th down and a 3rd down reception, 2 receptions for 100 yards. That night really went a long way. The other 3 guys at the table really made all those nice, wonderful numbers take place. They played up front with us and put their hands in the dirt every single down. And so that's Hack Hardy, Anthony Candelas, and Jay Little. They've done an excellent job for us. And then last week, we had a setback. We played Richard Wynn Academy scored, actually scored on the first play from scrimmage. It's 11-6 in the second quarter. We scored right before half, and we gave up a score right before half, and the wheels came off. But if you've heard me get up here before, nobody can hand me a microphone without somebody hands me a microphone and talk about Jesus. So one of the things our guys have heard, I've probably said it here before too, Galatians 6:9 says, "Do not grow weary in doing good, for at a proper time you will reap a harvest if you do not give up." And so that's a fundamental Bible verse for us, something that we share and talk about all the time. You can't get tired of doing the right things over and over and over and over again. And when you do the right thing, when you practice and prepare well, then it's far more likely that you're going to play well. And so that's the harvest that football players and football coaches look for, is that outcome. But that's it's really secondary, honestly. But do not grow weary in doing good. At a proper time, you will reap the harvest. And then the last part, do not give up. And so those are some of the things that we're constantly telling our guys. Keep doing the right things. Right? The best is yet to come. And don't ever quit. Don't ever give up. And so these 4 guys, very special to us. They epitomize a lot of those characteristics. And we're certainly, they also represent 4 of our 5 seniors. And so we're blessed to have them. And go Crusaders. Thank you.
Okay. Didn't know that Crusader Nation would inspire Raider Nation, but it just did. Because always do good. Nemo, you're doing good. It's on the way. And he said at the right time, you will reap the harvest, okay? So I got a special young man that I'm fixing to introduce to me because Coach Porter couldn't be here today. But just Adams Dean, the assistant coach, offensive coordinator, I believe I got that right, at Lawrence High School. This is Herb Adams' grandson. So Adams Dean, anytime I can recognize at the Lawrence County Touchdown Club, one of the men that helped start this touchdown club, you have to do that when Herb Adams' grandson is about to take the microphone. I know this. I know your great-grandmother, I knew where she was grown up, and there's a saying from that little middle village town. I want y'all to listen to me, okay? This is the way it goes. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Come on up here, Adams Dean, and talk about greater nation, because your time is coming. We all know that. Coach Adams Dean.
Appreciate y'all for having us up here and always doing this. It's really cool to have a community that supports high school football and college football, supports our players, our coaches. Unfortunately, the coaches usually only bring good players, so me and my brothers were never able to come when we were in high school. So this is really kind of unique for me. I wasn't able to be here. I just kind of stood on the sideline and clapped for everybody that was doing good things. So this is kind of cool to be up here now. Coach Porter couldn't be here with us. He had some surgery, some kidney stones. So he's trying to get that knocked out. So that's where he is. If y'all could just pray for him and his health that he can come back. It was kind of funny. He went in a few weeks ago to kind of have an initial little procedure, and the doctor kind of looked at him and didn't even recognize him because he had been running with the team all summer and lost so much weight. It was in such better shape that the doctor said we can do a little more intensive surgery now. So it actually pays to get out there and run and lift with your team, and he was kind of a testament to that. But we've kind of had a hard time so far this year. I've told all my buddies that coach and everybody that talks to me, when you play the team that's going to win the 2A state championship in week 2, and you play the team that's going to win the 3A state championship in week 3, you've kind of set yourself up to maybe have a rough start. But kind of the cool thing is that every single day our guys are still coming to work. It's really easy when you lose games to kind of put your head down, to kind of look towards basketball season or graduating or whatever. But all of our guys have still come to work. And as Coach said, at one day, we're going to reap those benefits of what we did this summer and what we've done so far this year. 2 weeks ago, we played BHP. I do think that they're going to win the state championship in 3A. Coach Fountain sent me the tape that when Clinton played them last year in the playoffs, and all the tape we watched, and they're pretty salty. They're pretty good, and they kind of handed it to us pretty good. We had just lost our 2 quarterbacks the week before, so we were kind of started doing some things, snapping to Nemo and some other guys, and it worked well for us some. And then we played Florida last week, and we finally started finding our way without our quarterbacks, and it was a 20-17 game. And as luck would have it, when you don't have a quarterback, they punted the ball back to us a minute 30, and we had the 2-minute drill with absolutely no quarterback. So that went about as well as you thought it would. We did what we could. It was 2017, but we showed a whole lot of progress. We're off this week, so if the good Lord blesses us, the losing streak will stop this week. And then next week, we'll take on Lexington here at homecoming. We'd love to have everybody come out. But Nemo came with us. We've kind of talked about what Nemo has done. All 3 of the guys that we chose to come with us kind of have a unique story of perseverance. Nemo last year was kind of all over the place, linebacker, quarterback, running back, H-back, just about anything they could put him at. And when Will and JT went down, he immediately stepped up and has done some great things for us at quarterback. And then hopefully going forward, he can go back to our B-back. But he's certainly going to do anything we ask him to do. The other 2 guys, Rayshawn Cook and Owen Crow, it was kind of funny. Rayshawn when I first came, he had been the center. Or we'd actually kind of had 2 centers all the summers of Rayshawn Cook. And I told Coach Stevens, our offensive line coach, that I wanted some other guy to play center. So Rayshawn kind of thought maybe this was going to be his time to start. But here is this new coach coming in and thinks that somebody else needs to start. But Rayshawn kept plugging along, kept doing what he's supposed to do, and now he's starting for us. I mean, he's a really big part of what we're doing up front, a really big story of perseverance and just, trusting the process. If I continue to lift, I continue to work, continue to run, and good things are going to happen. And then Owen Crow, he was kind of a starter for us this summer, and then was going to start at the beginning of the year, and then things didn't go kind of his way, and so he ended up being a backup. And he could have said, "I'm good with being a backup. That's fine with me. The other guy started, blah blah blah." But he didn't. And when JT got hurt in the Clinton game, well, all of a sudden we needed a new holder. And the last 2 weeks, it's kind of. you know, you can say it's just a holder, but what he's done holding the ball, you know, I don't think we make either field goal against VHB without him. The snaps weren't perfect. We got him down. We were able to get him up. And then this past week, he was back starting at safety as well. Had a huge interception for us in the first quarter, and then had a huge calls fumble that allowed us to go down and score a touchdown as well. So, you know, I think all three of these guys have shown perseverance, exactly like Coach talked about. You know, you put in the work, at some point it's going to pay off for you. Really appreciate all that y'all do. Coach Seawright taught me how to drive. So, you know, my family has bought cars from Cooper for years, and my grandparents swear by them, and they've been perfect to them all throughout, as my grandfather was the minister at First Baptist Church of Clinton, and they have nothing but good things to say about them, and I really appreciate y'all sponsoring our meal and sponsoring Touchdown Club. So thank y'all. Go out and support Clinton. They're going to win the 2A state championship. All right, don't want to put any pressure on them, but I think they're that good. So go support them, go support Lawrence Academy, and thank y'all for all y'all do.
Crusaders inspire the Raiders, and Coach, the Raiders are inspiring you. Bud didn't say that. Coach Dean said that. I get a lot of flack for telling you stuff like that, Coach Dean Mahar. Okay, speaking of inspiring, we got a man today that's came here to inspire all of us. Coach Hendrix of Furman. I know we all been looking forward to this. Talented nation, and as always, we always try to have that right person to introduce whoever's going to be our featured speaker. Now, we got a good one today because he is also the game day sponsor, Coach Seawright. Come on up here. He is going to introduce Coach Hendrix, and Coach Hendrix, you can open and close as you see fit, okay?
This is certainly an honor to be asked to do this. I'm certain there's probably more Furman people here that are probably more qualified. The historian of Furman University, but thank you for letting me do it. Coach Clay Hendrix became head football coach at Furman in December of 2016. However, Coach Hendrix was a Furman guy long before that. Coach Hendrix was recruited to Furman in 1982 from Commerce High School in Georgia, where he was a three-sport athlete: football, wrestling, and golf. He was on the offensive line that won the 2A state championship in Georgia with the Commerce Tigers. Following graduation in 1986, Coach Hendrix was recruited to play at Furman under legendary Coach Nick Sheridan and offensive line coach Robbie Caldwell. Clemson guy. Following graduation in 1986, Coach Hendrix joined Coach Sheridan along with Coach Caldwell at NC State for the 1986-87 seasons. And by the way, the Wolfpack beat Clemson in 86 and again in 87. I had to throw that in for Buddy. Coach Hendrix returned to Furman in 1988 as the offensive line coach under Coach Jimmy Satterfield. It was in 1988 where Furman claimed the FCS National Championship by defeating Georgia Southern 17-12. This was the first national championship by a SoCon school and first by a private institution in division history. And on a side note, there was a Clinton guy on that team by the name of Brian Pitts. In 2007, Coach Hendrix became the offensive line coach at the Air Force Academy and served as the offensive coordinator for 5 seasons, as well as the associate head coach from 2010 to 2016 before coming back to Furman in December. Personally, I met Coach Hendrix in the early 90s when I took our offensive line from Clinton up to his camp, as well as years later when I was at Lawrence, took some of those guys up to his camps too. So I was also fortunate to work a few of his camps during the summers. In 42 years, Coach Hendrix, in the 42 years that Coach Hendrix has been associated with college football, he's been a part of 35 winning seasons. That's pretty impressive. Coach Hendrix and his wife, Miss Leanne, have 2 sons, Cal and Matt, and reside in Taylors. So will you please help me in welcoming Coach Clay Hendrix to Lawrence County.
Thank you, Bill. I certainly appreciate that. It's certainly great to be with you today. I think I was here maybe the first or second year I came back to Furman, which was probably 17, 18, and I'm not quite as intimidated today. I think that day, Callie Gall was sitting in there, Bobby Ivy, Keith Richardson, golly, I know Coach Strock was there, I think, even that time. And many of you know about Coach Johnson, who I worked with a coach for a while. I don't think I've ever heard Bobby Johnson ever say he was scared of anybody, but he was scared of Keith Richardson. He recruited him, and it was a pure respect thing. No, I appreciate you having me here today. I grew up in a place really similar to the Clinton Lawrence area over in Georgia. And, in fact, I was on the way down this morning. It took me about 50 minutes coming down by the time we get across Greenville. But I guess it's a good thing and a curse. I got a really good memory. That's one thing, and sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. But it was 43 years ago, this fall. Bobby Lamb, I know a lot of you know Bobby, was actually the head coach of Furman. Bobby and I grew up across the street from each other. Dad was our high school coach. We went to Furman together, played all that day. He's now the head coach at Anderson. We drove to Clinton, South Carolina to watch a game. We were seniors. I think they were at the old stadium. I think they were playing Mars Hill that day. And, Bobby was a pretty highly recruited guy. I wasn't. And so I would tag along. We both ended up at Furman, and then certainly PC. A lot of the friends we made over the years, and Harold known since our arch enemy days when he was at Georgia Southern, when I was at Furman back in those days. But no, just awesome to be with you today. Certainly, congratulations all you award winners, Coach, on you guys' start. Awesome job there. I saw you guys over there. I was an offensive line coach for 31 years. There's lots of days I wish I was still an offensive line coach. There's days I get a little bored at practice, and I kind of wander around trying to find stuff to do. But no, it's been a good time. This is year 39 for me as a coach. It's my 31st year at Furman. After playing there, and then left 2 years, was back 19 years as an assistant, and I spent 15 years at the Air Force Academy, and then been back now. This is 8, so I've been a little different. I would call it a blessing. I've had two jobs, and in our profession, that's probably not many people can say that or done that, and because a lot of times we don't have that choice. I think sometimes we have choices about making decisions. We get opportunities, and life's about opportunities, and those you choose to take advantage of, and some that you choose to pass on. And for me, I know it's been a blessing to be able to be in 2 places. And I know when I moved to Colorado, and I always say this, everything you've ever heard about Colorado, good and bad, it's all true. My wife's also a Furman grad. I married a preacher's kid, and I learned pretty quick, around her that, I learned there's only two professions that you really don't need a formal education to do those jobs. One of them was being a preacher. I've learned that anybody can do that. And then also the other was a football coach. Anybody can do that. The old saying about the 2 things every man can do is work the grill and coach football. So, but we moved there, and we had 2 boys in March that grew up in Colorado. We moved back. One was a 10th grader, and his life was ruined for that. He adjusted well, though. The other one stayed. Actually, he's back now. Moved back in last fall. He was in Denver and Cheyenne, Wyoming for quite a bit of time back, and we're happy to have him back. And then my youngest was around for a couple of years in school here and kept wanting to go back out west. We ended up in Utah in school, which he's finishing up right now. He's got 2 classes to go. He's in Orem, Utah, which is about an hour south of Salt Lake City. And 3 weeks ago, he moved to Venice Beach, California. He's in Los Angeles with 5 kids he grew up with. He's 23 years old, and it's like my wife says, he's probably going to love that for a year or 2, and we'll see what happens after that. But he's in a good place. So, life comes and goes and changes, and I know for our team, especially this year, really rough start. You know, when your coach knows this, the schedule, you know, football schedule is so different from basketball schedule. I mean, a lot of these other things, so many times these games are maybe 5, 6 years in advance. You know, if you're looking for a game for next year now, good luck with that. You know, just trying to make, you know, you can't play on Monday through Thursday. You got to play on Saturday. The days got to match. Even people, but you know, and we've tried to play the FBS game. We've had some success over the years. You know, I know as a player, we won 4 of those games in a row. That's how Coach Sheridan ended up at NC State. It's a totally different time now. I always felt like in those games, you kind of had to have something going for you. Somebody's doesn't have a quarterback. Somebody's struggling, you know, to try to balance the field a little bit. And I don't know, when we signed this game 6, 7 years ago to Oxford, Mississippi for week 1. They probably at that time were probably a middle of the pack SEC team, which is still a pretty good football team. We rolled into Oxford, and man, like I said, 39 years, and I was trying to think back at teams. I know 1 year at the academy, we went to Norman, Oklahoma, played Oklahoma. Sam Bradford, DeMarco Murray, it was really a really good team. They were close to that team we just played, you know, a few weeks ago. I know in 2018 we went to Clemson, team won the national championship, and I think probably that year had the 4 first-round picks in the defensive line. So it really wouldn't matter what we've been doing. I think that was also Trevor Lawrence's first game, so they were still just trying to figure that out. So obviously ended up having a great year. But I just spent time with a number of teams that we played against. Just never seen a group like that. We were practicing a couple of days. I guess it was last week. We had a Pro Scout come by. He actually played for us. Furman, you know, he works in the NFL. And we were talking. I recruited him. He said, I said, well, where are your areas? And he said, well, I have Alabama, Mississippi, all those schools. And he just made his run through there. And then what they do is they come in after kids' junior years or after the spring of the year. Because nowadays, nobody knows who's a junior and who's a senior and who's a 6-year guy or who's got an extra year. But he said, well, Coach, I just came back from this. He said, Coach, they got 32 draftable or gradable draft picks. He said, I don't think you have any concept of how crazy and insane that is. He said, put it in perspective. He said, Alabama's got 20. And he said, I said, well, how about the teams around here? He said, they got a handful. You know, so it was a pretty remarkable year. Really kind of interesting to see how they go going forward. I'm not sure I've ever come out of a game. You know, if you're a team, you know much about us. You know, won a 15 conference championship a year ago, really since 1973. I've been fortunate to be around. I think I've been around for 11 of those. We played for 3 national championships. We won one. I was here for all 3 of those. I really felt like the last 2 years we had a team that was good enough to play. And we went out and lost to Montana in the quarterfinals a year ago. We had 41 seniors, which is kind of a crazy number if you think about it in the world of college football. You know, we have been a place, and I think as a program, you know, not much similar, not much different than a lot of high school programs. Coaching knows too, because I know he has a similar kid, but truly what I would consider a true developmental program, and that's kind of who we are. And, you know, largely for us, it's been about recruiting really good players. I think we've done that. You know, and then there's that next piece of retaining, which is becoming increasingly challenging, you know, in the world we live in. And you know, I think for us it was no different when I came back. I've been gone for 10 years and some things have slipped here, you know, for whatever reason as you're trying to figure out. You know, I think at Furman in particular, just with our challenges and Coach, you know, you can go to every community and every high school and everybody's got problems. Everybody's got challenges. They're just different. Every family does. And we certainly have our unique challenges. Our pool of players is significantly small in relation to particularly a lot of people we play. You know, we play against a lot of people. There's no question as players, yeah, they can play for us, but it's just checking all the boxes as we do. And so, you know, it's been recruiting, retaining, and then developing those guys. And we've largely been able to play with old guys. Kind of had crazy retention numbers. You know, we're the place now, and I see it because the numbers come across my desk. We're $78,000 a year on the school. We had 51 walk-ons on our team last year. You know, and I think we've done a great, you know, if anything, our staff has done such a good job of making kids truly, or getting kids from truly value our place. I'll say this about Furman, and, you know, a lot of things have changed over the years. I think one of the things they still do a tremendous job is preparing kids for life beyond. You know, you certainly hope football has a part of that, and the character development, leadership development, all those factors. But they do still do a phenomenal job of preparing kids for that. So again, I think it's getting kids who value that. Not everybody really does, and if they don't, ours is not the best place to come. I think the other part of it is to get kids that love to play football. I've also learned you've got a bunch of smart guys. Sometimes some of them care too much about school, and I say that there's got to be a healthy balance. You know, certainly the academic side of it, there's always got to be number one. You know, at Furman, I know a year ago, we had 18 Division I sports. All 18 sports had a 100% graduation. So I think it's only maybe the third time in the country it's ever happened. I think the other years it happened, it was 2 Ivy League programs. You really don't get athletic scholarships. So we've done a good job, you know, in that regard. I know the last 2 years we were able to win these 10 games. There were only 3 teams in the country that did it. It was South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Furman. So it put us in a pretty good company. So, you know, so here you roll into this year, knowing a lot of changes, a lot of new faces. We started a freshman quarterback last week, 3 freshmen. I don't know that that's ever happened in my time. Maybe it has. You know, he ended up being the National Player of the Week, National Freshman of the Week. So I think he's got a chance to be a pretty good player going forward. But again, just you know, going through the growing pains that you'll go through. We actually go tomorrow. We head to Williamsburg, Virginia, play William Mary. Really good program. Mike London, I remember Mike was the head coach at University of Virginia a couple years ago, and now won a national championship at Richmond, and is the head coach there. So it'll be a big challenge for our guys. And we'll start a conference play next week. So we had 4 non-conference games, and you know, I was talking about that first game. I'm not sure I've ever come out of a game, first game, and had no idea about anything about our team. The only thing I kind of figured out that night was they hung in there, which I thought they would. I think a little bit of making a character kind of who they are. You know, we got a little better each week. And there's also been a little bit for me, I think I've kind of enjoyed having a younger group, watching them kind of grow. You know, a year ago we had such an old football team. I think I spent most of my August just trying to get them to the first game where we felt like we kept everybody healthy. I've certainly invested a little bit more. We have lost 7 kids for the year. Injury-wise, we had 4 before the season even started, which is not a good thing. You know, we lost a couple in August, so, you know, it's been kind of managing that. But phenomenal staff. You know, one of the things I was going to tell you, I did everything to get Tommy to come with me today. You know, coaching his time at Presbyterian, we go so far back. You know, I always told him, Coach Spangler, when he was at Georgia Southern back in the late '80s, and I was there at Furman, and you know, we played for 2 national championships, and I guess we were kind of arch enemies, I guess, at the time. And, I had an opportunity a couple of years ago. We had an opening on staff, and Coach will know this and appreciate this. You know, I think one of the good things that's come out of COVID and all the things is Zoom. You know, that was one, because in the interviewing world, that part it gave you an opportunity, you had an opening to talk to a lot of different people. We got a great bunch of guys on staff. You know, and the minute we had the opening, it was one of those deals where we could go a couple of different directions with it, because we had some guys on staff who could move around. They've gotten all these things lined up, and I went to them, and none of those guys beat Tommy at the time. And I said, well, there's a guy I want you to talk to, you know, before we get through this whole process. And I tell you, I'd say you never defense coordinator, going Barnes, went through the whole process. Ended up hiring Tommy. Tommy, if he was here today, what he would tell you, he'd tell you the only reason I hired him was that so I would be the oldest guy. You know, so he just hires me because I'm older than him on that team. So You know, it's funny, we got Tommy there, he coordinates our special teams and coaches our safeties now, and all you guys know, he can coach anything. It's kind of fun to watch how our kids respond to him. Even I kind of enjoy sitting back in special teams meetings. He's such a different personality, even maybe from other people on our staff. Dwayne, our young DC, and Dwayne's the guy that played for Vanderbilt, actually played for Bobby Johnson and Robbie Caldwell there. Really smart guy. You know, I have learned this. I knew I wasn't the smartest guy, so I tried to hire a bunch of smart guys. I had a couple of academy guys, and I knew they could manage all that. But I think Tommy's been there about 2 days, and Dwayne walked in the office and said, "Cut, I just want to tell you, you did a good thing in hiring Coach Spangler." I said, "Well, you know, and sometimes you want it to be their idea if they can figure that out. And if they can't figure that out, then it needs to be my idea." But man, he's still a proud resident of Orange County here. But man, he's been awesome to be with our staff, you know, as we continue to go forward. And you know, I think for me, kind of what still drives me is the ability to. I still enjoy going to work. I love the guys I work with. I guess I get to make that choice, so I guess that's a good thing. I love our kids. I would put our kids in, yeah, we got a couple of knuckleheads like everybody does, but you know, when I got back in December of 2016, as I'm trying to figure some things out, you know, one of the things I went back and looked is, you know, just started looking at some stuff academically. Well, that's still really important to me. You know, and somebody told me the craziness that's going on right now in college football. I was reading just the other day, said, well, you may not like it, but you better accept it. Well, I don't like it, and I'm not going to accept it. And at Furman, I don't have to because we're not paying the players, and I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Probably won't happen before my tenure ends. So looking back through, and you know, at that time we were, you know, actually I know exactly we were 257 King GPA, which I'm going to be honest with you, in our place is challenging. You know, it's challenging as much as it's ever been academically. There's nowhere to put anybody. There's nowhere to hide anybody. You know, somebody asked me, where would you put one if you got maybe more of a margin? Because I don't know. You know, at the end of last term, we got a 3-1 King. You know, so I think we've raised the bar. I've kind of learned those guys that are struggling on the other side of campus, they're going to struggle with us too. And there's nothing wrong with having some guys who struggle. You know, but at the same time, I just feel like it helps them, you know, helps them focus a little bit more when they're with us. And, you know, one of the things I'd say to you guys, man, taking care of school, it just creates so many more opportunities for you. You know, for opportunities college-wise, yeah, for opportunities when you go to work, because it'll fly by. And what of a guy, you know, and I still think, you know, you can do that. You can work with great people. You can have great kids. And I'm competitive. I still want, you know, kind of win. And, you know, winning football games, you all know it if you've done it. There's no saying. It's hard to win a football game, and there's a lot of truth in that. I don't care how good you are or not. You know, it's still a challenging deal, but it's, you know, a little bit of the competition aspect of it. Yeah, we certainly continue to have our challenges, but you know, I'm kind of excited about this group going. We'll see how it goes. I think when we get in our conference schedules, I've looked around. I don't know if anybody's any better than anybody else. You know, it's you know, I kind of think it's going to be who's going to be the best at the end of the year and who continues to improve. And but you know, again, for me, it's just having the opportunity to. I still enjoy the relationships and seeing kids develop and trying to have an impact on them that goes way beyond the football part of it. Yeah, football's important. They won't let us keep our jobs if we don't do a good job in that area. But it's you know, I really with that, any questions? I just, you know, as we get ready to close here, again, I just appreciate you being here. I know this has been I've kind of enjoyed following this community. You know, when I came to Furman, I came to the fall of 1982. Buddy Jennings had just left. I think maybe the year before, and come to Lauren to see the diamond still there. You know, so that, and certainly what Coach Richardson had done, and what Coach Galt, all those guys have done. So it's been a great community that loves football. And again, it makes me, I feel like I'm at home when I'm kind of running in these kinds of areas. But any questions there by anybody? Well, it's great being with you. One thing I will tell you, it is a crazy time. We got our monthly update from our compliance officer the other day, and we were going over the new calendar. And I learned stuff because I guess I should have already known, but because sometimes you go through there and things don't change very much. Sometimes it changes a lot. But you know, this whole, you know, NIL, it really should just be PFP, because it should be paid for play, because that is what it is. And anybody says it's different is wrong, you know. I still think there's a lot of changes still to come. I do know this. I think our level of football is maybe one of the last few true of how college athletics is kind of meant to be. I enjoy that part of it. And again, I've kind of a career at that level. Spent 10 years in the academy. It was the same kid, you know, when I left to go from Furman to the Air Force Academy. Almost the same standards, you know, the curriculum was a little different. When I was there, we had your tax dollars, which made it a little easier. But by and large, I've enjoyed that aspect of it. I think we have 2 undergrad transfers on our team, which has got to be the fewest in America of anybody. We've gotten a couple of grad options that have helped us a little bit. But by and large, again, for us, it's going to be, again, do a good job recruiting, keep them and develop them. And, you know, we've had a few of the kids that we have lost. Most of them have been graduates that we just didn't have a way to keep them. We've got kids in the Masters of Engineering at Vanderbilt doing a number of different things. Good for them. I'll write the recommendations for them. So, but no, it's great being with you. Wish you guys the best of luck going forward. Coach, you guys as well. And you get a chance, we're not far off the road, come up there and see us as well. Thank you.
I know everybody's ready for our door prizes. Coach Hendrix, thank you for coming to the Lawrence County Touchdown Club. If the teams have to leave, I know Coach Fountain and the Devils do.